Hello and welcome to another Finley Ghost video over here on the YouTube channel. Super excited about this one today. We're going to be covering The Batman, specifically the first teaser trailer. It has been over a year since DC Fandome back in 2020 where we first saw this awesome trailer. Probably, for me, most likely the best trailer I've ever seen for anything in my entire life. And in that trailer we got the first real glimpse at Batman himself and some of the supporting cast, like Catwoman, like the Penguin, like the Riddler, like Commissioner Gordon. I gotta tone it down just a little bit. I'm sounding like a psychopath. And in particular, we had a lot of great takeaways at how this new Gotham, how this new Batman universe, I suppose, is going to shape up in this new film, Matt Reeves' version or take on Gotham City itself. And I'll tell you what, I had a lot of takeaways, but I wanted to zero in on three main takeaways that I had for this awesome trailer that I think is most likely going to be pretty consistent throughout this film. But we'll see more in the DC Fandome trailer that's going to be shown this year, 2021, which is next month, October 16th. I'm super pumped. We're going to be seeing some awesome stuff. We're going to be seeing some more Shazam 2, The Flash, most likely some of the DC video games that are coming out, and probably a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, for me, I'm most hyped for the second The Batman trailer. And while there is a lot of excitement towards it, I'm a little conflicted because I feel like this trailer, this first teaser trailer, was so awesome. I'm a little scared that the second one's not going to be nearly as good. If it doesn't have any Nirvana in it, I'm out. But I guess in anticipation of that second trailer, I really wanted to just zero in one last time on this first teaser trailer and really dissect some of the things and let you guys know what I'm thinking, what I'm kind of predicting a little bit with the film that's going to be coming out, and I hope you guys like it. But before we get into that, I want to remind you guys to go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification bell to make sure that you get all the future videos that come out on this channel. Most likely they're going to be DC heavy. And of course, if you want to continue the conversation, any ideas, any comments that you may have throughout this video, you can leave it in the comments below, or you could go check out my streams over on twitch.tv/FinleyGhost. Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time I stream, and we can continue talking about the Batman over there. Now let's get into our first takeaway. Originally, this was actually going to be my last takeaway, but as I started preparing this video, I realized more and more that there was a lot more things to talk about with my now last takeaway. But number one, no one looks like a hero in this Gotham. Not even Batman looks like a hero. He freaking looks way too brutal. Not necessarily too brutal, because I'm super down with that. I loved seeing him bash that kid's face in over and over and over again. But because of that, because of his anger and his just excessive force, I guess, he doesn't even look like the good guy, to be honest. I mean, you look at Commissioner Gordon, he looks like he's seen a ton of shiz. The Riddler seems extremely horrible and just absolutely terrifying. Everyone looks angry, to be honest, even the freaking police. I mean, Gotham PD has never been known for their, happy, cheerful personalities, but this one seems extremely bleak. I'm not gonna lie. The first time that you see, assumingly from Batman's point of view, he's walking through the hallway at the crime scene, and you see all the police officers lined up against the sign, and they're looking pissed at him. They are not happy that he's there. I don't know exactly why that's gonna be. I'm kind of assuming a little bit that there's obviously some tension between Batman and the police force. This is directly after, I believe, his first year of being the Batman, and I'm assuming they've had a few run-ins. But you can also see in one of the scenes that there's kind of a brawl between Batman and a bunch of police officers, and I think like in Gotham PD in like a jail cell or something like that. And then in another shot later on, he's got his grappling hook and he's flying through a stairwell, and upon closer examination, it looks like there are police officers going up and down the stairs. So I'm guessing he's making a quick getaway after a completely insane brawl that may have broken out in there. I have no idea, but it kind of looks like that. But the trailer also opens up with that, crime scene, and I think it's a mayor, it seems like it is, and he's obviously been killed and murdered by the Riddler. And you got all these news clippings and all that stuff of like how great he is, how he's won his 3rd term, blah, 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 with like liar written all over it. So I'm guessing he was pretty corrupt or something like that. Based off of that, I'm wondering if the Riddler is actually trying to uncover a lot of corruption that's going on in Gotham right now. It remains to be seen. But even this mayor that people have all been praising and stuff doesn't seem to be a hero either. And then you got all these kids that are dressed up as these villains. You see Two-Face, you see Joker, maybe Deadshot. I don't know. There's a kid with like a cross or some kind of, maybe a crosshair or a cross on his forehead. I'm not sure what Batman villain that would be. I'm guessing it's Deadshot. Who knows? And then of course, at the very end of the trailer, you hear the Riddler saying, I'm assuming to Batman, you're a part of this. And then Batman's like, how am I part of this? That was a pretty good impression, I think. And then the Riddler's like, you'll see. No, that's not good. You'll see. That's not good. Cut it. Making it seem like he's a part of the problem, that Batman is a part of the problem. Also, maybe I'll get into it a little bit later. It kind of makes me think that he knows. Well, I'll get to it later. But those are some of the things that I found with this first takeaway, that no one looks like a hero. Just looking throughout the trailer, I don't know if there's going to be anyone to root for, even Batman. And speaking of Batman, and if it's unsure if we could root for him or not, let's get into the next takeaway. He freaking seems brutal, dude. Gotham seems brutal. This whole place seems brutal. There's a few different shots throughout the trailer from the Riddler and that whole, murder being committed on that mayor, and he's duct taping his face. It zooms in on the duct tape face when, all is said and done and all the police are going in there and checking everything out. And you hear like this, last breath for air or something like that, this wheezing, which is just absolutely terrifying. And I'm assuming that he's just freaking making it the most slow and agonizing death possible. And you could see later on that he's clearly bashing the dude over the head. And I'm sure it's a repeated bashing to make sure that he's dead. This is the Riddler we're talking about, of course. And then you see kids, maybe on Halloween, again, like I mentioned before, with the face paint and all that stuff, like the Joker, Two-Face, whatever. And it just seems like there's a blatant air of criminal activity in this Gotham, which is pretty true to form most of the time. But in this trailer, it's such a prominent part of it. I feel like we're just going to be seeing criminal activity everywhere. And then of course, we got the sweet first moment of action with Batman, which I watched so many reaction videos on this. Oh gosh, I got a burp, but if I tried to force out the burp, it would be a throw up, and I really don't want to do that. And everyone's just like losing their mind. Everyone's just like, this is Batman. This is what we wanted. And to be honest, it's like the first really fast-paced action that we've ever seen from Batman before. Because, as great as the Dark Knight trilogy is, Batman isn't really that impressive, especially his fighting. There's a couple of maybe good scenes, especially with Bane, I think, in Dark Knight Rises, but everything else is pretty whatever. He just seems really stiff all the time. Even in the Dark Knight, when he gets the more mobile suit, he's really slow about it, man. Like the choreography is just not that great, but this seems nuts, dude. And when you look at it, I watched this fight with this one kid over and over and over again. I guess he grabs the arm, blocks a punch, and then it's just over from there. And he punches the kid like twice, all with one fist, breaks his arm, hits him 5 more times, knocks him to the ground on that last 5th punch, or I guess 7th punch, and then hits him 2 more times. And the whole time as he's punching him, it is progressively sounding worse and worse. Like the first 2 punches sounds normal, halfway between the 5 punches after he's broken his arm, sounds more like he's clearly broken something, and then the last 2 punches on the ground literally just sounds like he's got a big bag of oranges that he's just pulverizing. It sounds like Fruit Ninja. Dude, it's nuts. And if you look at Batman's face, he's angry. He's so angry. I'm not entirely sure what those kids were doing. Either they were literally caught in the act of something right there, and again, if they're like looking like villains, then I'm sure they're doing something. Or maybe it's just the fact that they are dressed up like villains that really just triggers him. And I'm assuming if it is Joker face paint, and if it is Two-Face face paint, then they've already appeared in this Gotham over the past year. Or maybe before that, and that's what caused them to want to become Batman in the first place. Clearly they exist, or existed, and he's already had to fight them and got through a huge fight. And just seeing those kids completely triggered him.
I'm vengeance.
But long story short, everything, everyone's lives, Batman himself, the Riddler, whatever, they all seem super brutal, and I'm really excited to actually see it, to be honest. That leads us to the third and final takeaway. This movie's going to be extremely psychological. I'm pretty sure that we're going to be walking away from this film just totally messed up for the next few days after watching it. I think I'm going to be dreaming, or not even, okay, I'm going to be having nightmares about this film, I believe. I think a lot of people are going to be messed up. I think a lot of people are going to be in dark places, and they're going to need to escape with any form of happiness that they could possibly find, hopefully through a lollipop or something. I don't know. But we're all going to be messed up. Because again, there's terrifying imagery. The duct tape face, that gasp for air, those kids dressed up like villains and they don't even care. Batman's just literally beating the crap out of people. I'm pretty sure there's been a screening already, and the movie's like sitting at around 3 hours long, I guess, which is awesome. I'm down for it, unless it feels like it's getting really slow in some parts. But if it doesn't, I'm down. Are you kidding me? 3-hour Batman? What? Bring it on. But people have said that it looks like a horror film to them, and that is intriguing. I think, who knows how the editing's gonna be, but I think this is gonna be really, really freaking scary, and we're all gonna lose our minds for a little bit.
Well, then everyone loses their minds.
But then on top of that, I think we're really gonna be questioning a lot of things. Like I said before, no one looks like a hero. I think we're gonna be questioning whether or not Batman is a good guy. I think he's gonna be less relatable than the Riddler, potentially. If the Riddler's trying to uncover all of this crazy, corruption, maybe, like I'm assuming, then maybe there's like interesting motive behind it, and we'll be able to sympathize with it on a level. And then you got Batman over here beating up these stupid kids. And again, we'll see it in the movie. Maybe that's totally reasonable how much he's beating this one kid up, and he's most likely dead now. But we might be questioning whether or not this Batman actually should be doing anything at all. There's gonna be a lot of mystery too, which I'm really excited about, the whole detective side of everything. Looking closer at that card that the Riddler left behind in that first scene, and it says, "What does a dead man do when he's dead?" I'm pretty sure that's what it says, something like that. It's kind of hard to see. And then there's like some code on the bottom right, on the right hand side of the card, and someone decoded it and it says he lies still. And I looked at that and I'm just like, oh yeah, that's the obvious answer. Like, it's this whole coded thing, and you're just like, well, okay, yeah, that's really, this is the riddle. That was the answer to the riddle, just the most obvious. He lies still. And then I took a shower and I realized, oh, there's like double meaning behind that. There's the obvious answer of he lies still. Yes, he's lying still because he's dead. But then there's the other way to interpret it of he's still lying. Even after death, he's still lying. Everyone's feeding into this lie. So yeah, I really do feel like he's trying to expose all of these corrupted people, these politicians, this huge criminal ring or something like that that's going on, that people are just letting happen because it feeds the economy and it feeds the way that the world works in Gotham City. Maybe he became the mayor because of voter fraud and stuff like that, and people were paid off to vote for him or whatever. Who the frick knows? But I think it's pretty clear that the point that they're trying to make in the trailer, that this mayor is not a good guy and he was a liar, and that even though he's dead and he's been brutally murdered and he's not going to be able to do anything anyway, there's still the lie that's ongoing, because there's a funeral that's held for him later on in the trailer. And in that funeral, there's this hearse that breaks through it. Bruce Wayne saves this kid. It's glorious, wonderful, blah, 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 even though he doesn't look happy about it. And if you look at the hearse, it says DOA, all over it, like everywhere, all over it. And a dude walks out and he's got a bomb, and then another note to the Batman. I don't think we know what that letter is necessarily. Maybe that's the part where it's like, for your blind eye. Another flawless impression by Austin. But originally the imagery is just kind of funny because okay, maybe not necessarily funny, but just there's a little bit of humor, I think, from the Riddler all over that hearse. There's dead people in the hearse, and then you see DOA, dead on arrival. Okay, that's cheeky, whatever. You know, good job, Riddler. You came up with a funny joke. I thought it was funny. Maybe I'm a lunatic. Maybe I'm the Riddler. But then when you rewatch the trailer as many times as I have, and I rewatched like a bunch of clips from that part over and over and over again, I think that that takes on another meaning right there. Because Bruce Wayne is at the funeral. He must leave and change into Batman and then come back. And before, I thought it was the Riddler that threw down this bomb and that's what exploded or whatever. But no, when you watch the trailer again, the Riddler's most likely bashing in that mayor, and then they cut to Batman exploding. And I'm guessing he goes back to go, you know, figure out what's going on with this dude and probably disassemble the bomb so the guy doesn't have to die. And then fails miserably. It probably didn't even matter. He gets exploded anyway and he's gone. The dude's dead. Hence, dead on arrival. It didn't matter what you were gonna do. It didn't matter if you were gonna try to save him or not. He's freaking dead, dude. He was dead from the get-go. He was dead on arrival. Or, even going a step further on that, once Batman arrived, he was dead because he got exploded. Explode dead? Oh my gosh, there's a third meaning. But you can see just from those few interactions and those few scenes that the Riddler is gonna have a bunch of different ways to interpret his riddles, I think, or the answers on the riddles. Not only are you gonna have the blatant obvious one right in front of your face, but you gotta look a little bit deeper and you're gonna see the true meaning behind it. The mayor was lying. He's still lying even though he's dead. Dead on arrival. You get there and the dudes explode dead. And then going back, like I said before, to the Riddler saying, you're a part of this. And then Batman saying, how am I a part of this? You'll see, the Riddler says. I think the Riddler knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman. I think that this is a prediction time, I suppose. I believe that he blames Bruce for most of this because I bet Bruce is just mindlessly investing in all these different things, and probably a lot of them belong to these, you know, criminal, corrupt entities or, you know, businesses or whatever the frick. And I'm sure he's trying to expose them. And I'm okay, prediction. I think that at the end of this film, we're gonna have sort of an Iron Man effect. Straight up, Batman's gonna be outed.
I am Batman.
Everyone's gonna know that he's Bruce Wayne, and that's gonna set up the tone for the next two films. I think that we might actually have a Batman, like after the first film, who's already been outed. He's outed, boom, done. And there's gonna be this huge cliffhanger, just like Spider-Man Far From Home, and we're gonna wonder what the F is gonna happen after that. Everyone's gonna know that he's Bruce Wayne and Batman all in one. And the Riddler's whole thing was to out him and his criminal activity. And that's how we're gonna kind of get the whole Batman's an outlaw, he's not a good guy type of thing. Saying it out loud, it actually sounds a little stupid. Because then in the second film, we won't be able to get any cool Bruce Wayne, oh, I'm a millionaire, you know, funny interactions and stuff like that. But still, it'd be interesting. But again, just to kind of hit it home with the, you know, whole psychological aspect, this third takeaway that I have, I think that we are really going to be challenged after this film. We are going to be questioning everything about this Batman universe. Who do we even get to root for? I'm not sure. Maybe just Alfred, and that's literally it. But yeah, there you have it. I think oh man, there's so much anticipation for this second trailer, this next trailer. Again, I'm a little nervous. I don't know how they're gonna top it. And there's also a part of me that doesn't want to see any more because I'm completely sold already, and I have this perfect vision of what's going on and how I want it to be. And I'm afraid that the second trailer is gonna ruin it. I don't know. I just want to stay excited about the film, and I don't want the trailer to ruin it. But thanks so much for watching. Again, subscribe, hit the notification icon. If you like this video, give it a like. And if you want to continue the conversation, leave it in the comments below or come and join twitch.tv/FinleyGhost. And I stream every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, 8:30 p.m. And you guys can come talk to me more about the Batman or any other things that you want to talk about. And with all that said, I'll see you in the afterlife, my friendly ghosts. Goodbye.